Hi, my name is Michelle, and I am so glad that you could join me today. Today, I'd like to talk to you about studying God's Word. I know that I have spoken to many people over the last couple of months about this, and some of their concerns are I don't have a lot of time, I don't know where to begin, I don't know where to start. And so I've spent a lot of time thinking and praying about that. And I want you to know that even if you only have 5 minutes, it's okay. It's still 5 minutes spent with the one who loves you more than you can possibly imagine. In His Word, you're going to find peace, hope, comfort, joy, and you're just going to know that it's just a time of rest for you, a time to be renewed, a time to be restored. I'd like to share with you a story. Many years ago, I did an internship, and I hadn't been at this church for very long. I had just gotten back from a gathering with the youth, and I was all excited. I walked down the stairs to my basement apartment, and I noticed that there was a note on the door. This was long before cell phones, and it was a note from my pastor saying to call him as soon as I got in. I tried calling, but he wasn't there. So I decided that I would call home and talk to my mom about all the adventures that I had had. When the phone rang, my sister answered the phone. Now, normally that wouldn't be a big deal, but I knew that my twin was supposed to be at camp that week. So immediately I knew something was wrong. She asked me, "Didn't you get the note from the pastor?" And I explained that I had tried calling. So my mom got on the other phone, and they shared with me some very sad news. My best friend at the time had lost her dad in a tragic plane accident. I was devastated. I hadn't been where I was at for very long. I didn't have any friends there yet, and I didn't even really know the pastor all that well. And I knew that I wasn't going to be able to go home for the funeral. So I sat and talked with my mom and my sister for quite a while. Then I called my best friend, and I talked to her, and we cried. I felt so bad. I didn't know what to do. Shortly after I got off the phone with her, the pastor came over and he talked to me, and we had a prayer, and it was nice. But it was still hard because he didn't know my friend or her dad, and it was hard for me knowing that I wasn't going to be able to go home to be with my family and friends and the people that had loved my friend's dad. So he left, and I called another friend, talked to that person for a while, and then I ended up calling my grandma. She always had a way of making me feel better, so I talked to her. Now, I had mentioned that this was way before cell phones, and this was when, long distance was pretty expensive, so I knew that I needed to get off the phone. I cried myself to sleep that night, and I woke up, and it was about 2 in the morning. I knew that I could call my mom if I really needed to, or I could call my grandma, but I didn't want to do that, and I knew that I'd already spent enough money on long distance. My Bible was beside my bed, and I knew that I could find comfort and consolation in God's Word. So I opened it up to the Psalms, and that's when I discovered Psalm 62. My soul finds rest in God alone. I knelt beside my bed, and I opened my Bible. I don't know if you can see it. And I just laid my head against God's Word, and I just sat there with Him for the longest time. And I felt a peace pour over my soul. It gave me comfort like nothing else could. And I wondered to myself, why hadn't I done that before? It wasn't that it wasn't important to talk to my family and my friend and my loved ones, but none of them could offer the comfort and the peace that I found in God's Word. After that, I knew that that's where I needed to go. That's where I needed to turn. And so my encouragement to you is to take the time. I have created for my gift today a reading plan for the month of May. We're going to dig into reading the book of Matthew. There is so much there. Now, I know some of the days it might look like the readings are longer, and I want to encourage you. The reading plan is just a guide. If you only have time to read a couple verses a day, that is totally fine. If you have another reading plan that you like to follow, please follow that. What my plan is that over the month of May, I will not be going live every day on my Facebook page, but I hope to do it at least once or twice a week. And I will probably focus on the book of Matthew. And it might not exactly be where we're at in the reading plan, but I do hope to discuss Matthew, and or if I find something else that I think might be interesting to you, I will bring that here as well. So I want you to know that I am praying for you and that it is my deepest desire for you to be in God's Word